Welcome to Anglo-Eastern Plantations. AEP was formed and floated in the London Stock Exchange in 1985. The list shows the present directors and main shareholders. The company started with the purchase of Bluncahan and Mosam estates with an area of 2,850 hectares from CBEF in 1978. Company continued to expand by adding 6,000 hectares land in Tasik Raju estate and planting with oil palm. The first palm oil mill with a capacity of 45 tons per hour was built in Tasik Raju in 1990, which was extended much later in 2005 to 60 tons FFB per hour. The expansion continued in Bengkulu with purchase of land and planting with oil palm. The second palm oil mill of capacity 40 tons FFB per hour was built in 2002 in Puding Mas estate, and later extended to 60 tons FFB per hour in 2004. In 2004, the third mill was built in the oldest estate of Bluncahan. Due to the increase in FFB from smallholders, it was later extended to 40 tons FFB per hour in 2011. In 2004, Bina Petrijaya estate in Riau was acquired, and the fourth palm oil mill with a capacity of 45 tons FFB per hour was built in the estate in 2007. The fifth palm oil mill with a capacity 45 tons per hour was built in Somindo estate Bengkulu in year 2010. The company expanded further to central Kalimantan by acquiring 19,200 hectares of land. And the sixth palm oil mill with a capacity of 45 tons FFB per hour was built in this SGM estate. The map shows the location of all the estates owned by AEP in Indonesia and Malaysia. This map shows the location of the 6 mills in Indonesia. AEP has shown a steady growth in FFB production in our estates from 168,000 tons in 1998 to 898,000 tons in 2016. A similar increase seen in the total FFB processed in the palm oil mills, from 171,000 tons in 1998 to 1,687,000 tons in 2016. There has been a substantial increase in the volume of outside crop processed. The planted hectareage of oil palm till 2016 is 64,450 hectares, which is about 97% of the total planted area. The provinces of North Sumatra have the highest planted area, followed by Bengkulu. The revenue generated by AEP has grown steadily from $14.45 million in 1998 to $240.23 million. The revenue is proportional with the higher volume of FFB processed and the commodity prices. The cultivation of oil palm takes 3 years from planting to mature for harvesting. The trees shall continue to produce fruit until it is old and matured. And at this stage the yield will begin to decline. During the pre-nursery stage of 0 to 3 months, intensive care is required to ward off pests and diseases. In the main nursery, during 3 to 12 months, the plants are spaced out for better growth in bigger poly bags. When the palms are still immature below 3 years of age, intensive care is still required to maintain plant growth. Cover crops are planted to prevent soil erosion and conserve the nutrients. The newly and young matured oil palms are in the range in age of 3 to 11 years. The prime matured oil palms are in the range of 12 to 20 years. The old matured palms are older than 21 years. The trees are very tall, between 14 to 16 meters. Some estates will fell these trees and start replanting if there is a reduction in yield of FFB. At present in the AEP plantations, the young and matured constitute the biggest area of 43% of the total planted area. The harvesting of FFB is done with harvesting pole. Care is taken to ensure only the ripe bunches are harvested. The FFB is loaded manually into the trucks at various collection points in the estates. The fully loaded trucks deliver the FFB to the mills. Fertilizers are applied in the estate so that the trees receive sufficient nutrients to maintain a high yield. The surroundings of the palm trees are sprayed with weed killers to control the weeds. Barn owls are kept in the estates to control the rat population, as they are their natural predators. Integrated pest management is practiced by planting beneficial plants. These plants will be hosts to the natural predators like birds, mites, and flies, which shall feed on the bagworms. The palm oil mills process the FFB through various stations to produce the main products, which are CPO and palm kernels. The other saleable products are palm kernel shells, dried long fiber, and electrical power from biogas. The FFB after weighing is unloaded by the trucks into hoppers at the loading ramp. The FFB is then sterilized in pressure vessels with a steam pressure of 3 bars to enable the fruitlets to be stripped from the bunch and soften the mesocarp. The stripped fruitlets are then pressed in the pressing station to press out the crude oil from the mesocarp. In the clarification station, the crude oil is separated from the water and solids, and then stored in huge storage tanks for sale. The CPO is then dispatched by road tankers to the buyers, which are local refineries. The palm kernels are extracted from the palm nuts and then dried before being stored in bulking silos. The kernels are then dispatched by trucks to the buyers, who are mainly local kernel crushing plants. The palm oil mill effluent is treated in anaerobic reactors, where the biogas is trapped under covered membranes. The trapped biogas is then sent to the biogas purification plant, to remove the impurities such as moisture and hydrogen sulfide. The purified gas, which has a methane content of about 60%, is piped to the biogas engine, where it is utilized as a fuel to generate electric power. The generated electric power is sold to the State Electricity Board, by supplying to the national grid. In one mill, the empty fruit bunch, which is a waste product, is processed to extract the dried long fibers as a product. This DLF is baled and exported in containers to overseas buyers. The effluent, after producing biogas in the anaerobic reactor, undergoes further aerobic treatment by aeration in concrete tanks. AEP has obtained ISPO certification for many of the estates, and the certification process is in progress for the rest of the estates. AEP is a responsible player in the plantations industry and such is committed to CSR. Aid has been provided to the victims of tsunami in Aceh. Donations are given to orphanages during festivals. Housings have been provided to the earthquake victims in Aceh. Churches and mosques have been built for the people of different faiths in the various provinces. Schools and transport facilities have been provided in our estates. Facilities for sports are provided in almost all of our estates. Natural beauty is preserved in all our estates. Thank you from AEP.